Hello, hello, and welcome to Odds on La Liga. It's match day 34. Real Madrid will be champions this weekend or the following one. We have Almeria officially relegated after match day 33, and of course, no one is surprised as well for that. To help us analyze and to share with us his best tips, we have Alvaro Romeo as always. How are you, Alvaro?
Hello, Leo. Very well. It's a pleasure to be here. I can see that that you are feeling Barcelona fan today.
I wish I could be wearing this T-shirt and saying that Barcelona is about to become champions, but well, it's fine. We had it last season. Now it's for Real Madrid, which actually gave us a very good game last night with the Bayern Munich, the first leg of the Champions League semi-finals. Before we get going with this show, guys, if you haven't done yet, please do not forget, priority number one, before we get going with the show, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell. But now, let's go. All right, Alvaro. So to open match day 34 on Friday night is Getafe Athletic Bilbao. If there was a time to go back to winning ways for Getafe, that was against Almeria, a 3-1 win that sent Almeria to second division. Mason Greenwood, Alvaro, scoring twice after a run of 4 games without a goal. He's now in his best ever season for goals contributions with 8 goals and 6 assists. This season beating the previous best of his, which was 11 goal contributions with Manchester United in the season 2019-2020. Of course, there is no chance of European qualification, but for Getafe to finish, for example, in the 8th place, a place in the table that belongs to Valencia now, that could be very valuable for them. Why not? And this Athletic team, Alvaro, for sure will go down in history as legends of the club after what happened in the Copa del Rey. But how big it was, the blow of losing to Atletico Madrid on match day 33. They are still favorites here, of course. Odds of 2.3 are quite good anyway for them.
Yeah, answering to the first question, I would say that it's disappointing not to be in the run to qualify for the Champions League anymore, because I do believe that Atletico de Madrid got a very decisive win against Athletic Club Bilbao last weekend, and I don't think that Atletico is going to miss out on Champions League. It's slightly disappointing, but this season will always be remembered for the success in the Cup. That's for sure. Of course, the finances of the club will definitely welcome having qualified for the Champions League, especially because if you want to keep the likes of Nico Williams or 𝐜𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐶𝐞𝐜𝐭𝐴 and some other important footballers, you will have to pay them very handsomely, and qualifying for the Champions League gives you that extra money you need. But generally speaking, the season has been a success already for Athletic Club Bilbao. And, I think that the fan base isn't really happy. It's not that Athletic hasn't tried. I think that they had, for example, a very good game against Villarreal right after winning the cup. They could have won it, but in the aggregate of the second half, handball that shouldn't have been a handball gave Villarreal the chance to score, and Villarreal capitalized and they drew that game. But I think that Athletic hasn't slacked off or anything like that. It's simply that, La Liga has a high level, and sometimes it's very difficult to win your games. For this game, I look at the odds and I tend to like them. I think that the double chance for Getafe will be something good because, as I said before, Athletic Club Bilbao is not going to finish 4th, and I don't think that there is a belief that they will do it, not even in the camp. And on the other hand, it's very unlikely that Real Sociedad, who is 6th, catches them. So I think that maybe Athletic Club Bilbao here may sleep a little bit, and playing at Coliseum is not easy. In fact, let me tell you something that is quite interesting. The last 5 encounters between Getafe and Athletic have ended in a draw. And there are two schools of thought here. Number one, that if the draw is a tendency, why not to keep putting your money in the draw? And the second one, that 6 draws in a row is very unlikely to happen. Depends on where you want to take it, really. But the truth is that if I add to all that data, the fact that Athletic hasn't won in the last 7 visits to El Coliseum, that tells me that maybe a double chance for Getafe 170 is pretty interesting. And I have to say something about Getafe very quickly. At home, they've been good this season. Away, they've been okay, but at home, they've been very good. They got 29 points. And in their last 10 league games at home, I'm going to take a small sample, they got 5 wins, 2 draws, and 3 defeats. Last 10 league games at home, 5 wins, 2 draws, and 3 defeats. Whereas Athletic de Bilbao away has been a little bit shaky lately. Another sample size. In their last 10 league away games, 2 wins, 4 draws, and 4 defeats. So the numbers are telling me that Getafe is going to get at least a point here. So a double chance for them, 170.
That looks good, actually. Taking into account all these numbers you've been mentioning and the trajectory of both two teams coming into this game, why not to trust that double chance? Actually, on the comment section, Marco Polo, I think he's like almost like shouting on when he's writing, because all in capital letters. Yes, he's pointing to a draw. So something that you also mentioned, Alvaro, double chance includes that. Why not to go for that then?
And Leo, on Mason Greenwood very quickly. He's having a very good season. I believe that he wants to stay in Spain. I have heard that from the players, the players' contacts and entourage. And, there are 2 Spanish clubs who are at least interested in knowing about Mason Greenwood's money expectations and how much the player could be and for how much Manchester United could release him. One of them is Atletico de Madrid. Diego Pablo Simeone rates very highly the working ethics of Mason Greenwood, and the other one has been Barcelona for a little while. But I do believe that Mason Greenwood would like to stay in Spain for obvious reasons, because in Spain, he's not reminded about what happened to him in the past in England. I think that he has found some sort of a comfortable country to live in. And, he's been one of the good news of the season. Mason Greenwood has been very good.
I think he could be a good fit in Atletico Madrid, Simeone. Next up, we have Real Sociedad Las Palmas. Last Friday, even though Real Madrid rested many players, La Real couldn't manage to take a point at least, which I believe they deserve to take a point at least. They have a goal from Kubo ruled out for a foul on Tchouaméni. Even before Madrid's goal, Turrientes could have also scored. The conversation for La Real in the last few weeks, Alvaro, seems to have shifted from trying to catch Athletic in 5th place to not losing hold of the European Conference League spot, because Betis is 2 points behind now, and Valencia is 4 points behind them. Now comes Las Palmas, that is on a run of 6 consecutive defeats. I think they're still living rent-free on the great season they were having up to 2 months ago. There is no great value for a home win after 90 minutes, but perhaps a first half win for La Real could take the odds to 1.9. But what's your take here?
Yeah, I think that I am inclined to think like you here. I think that my expectation is, or my suspicion is, that Real Sociedad is going to get the 3 points, but you have to add some extra spice to the win, because otherwise the money is not worth. Really, Real Sociedad winning this game doesn't pay enough, 139. But I found a way of making it a little bit more juicy, which is Real Sociedad to win and over 1.5 goals in the game. That pays 1.6 already, 1.57. I think the money is decent. I wouldn't call it a safe bet, but it's almost a safe bet. And maybe the Asian handicap -1 for Real Sociedad is something that you should go for. In fact, if I have to choose some odds for this game, I will go for this. There are 2 different ideas about how to bet, and I have seen that in many forums and in many comments we get. Number one is follow what your football knowledge tells you, and try to bank it or support that with finding the best odds, even if they are not too high. And the other one is going for the odds. So whatever the most inviting odds are, you go for that. I still prefer to use football knowledge and then try to squeeze a little bit from the odds. And I think that this is the best way. Of course, back in Las Palmas somehow, it will give you good money, but they are on a 6 defeat run. And the team is not scoring many goals. And the truth is that Real Sociedad are better. They want to defend the sixth spot on the table. So I'm going to go for that one. Asian handicap -1 for Real Sociedad, 161. Or otherwise, Real Sociedad to win and over 1.5 goals. Why am I not going for over 2.5 goals? Because Real Sociedad is not a high scoring side. So those will be my bets.
Perfect. So those are the tips for Real Sociedad Las Palmas, which let us move on to Real Madrid Cadiz. Traveling home, Real Madrid, Alvaro from Munich, feeling very confident for the return leg of the Champions League after last night 2-2 draw in Munich. Alvaro, I don't know if there is any official confirmation that today in the afternoon Florentino Perez will donate Toni Kroos pass to Vinicius to El Prado Museum to be shown there permanently, because he was actually a beauty, although Vinicius' run was also a beauty to get that pass. The title is clinched for Madrid. It's just a matter of days. And for Cadiz, if La Real could not take anything from Ancelotti's B team, then why Cadiz would? 26 points for them. They are 5 points behind Celta. To play Barcelona, Girona, and now Real Madrid in almost quick succession at the end of the season when you are trying to avoid relegation, I wouldn't be surprised if Cadiz supporters believe that La Liga fixtures have been decided by Celta de Vigo. It's been always difficult with these runs to end the season for Cadiz.
Yeah, absolutely. And the truth is that, okay, we can talk about the calendar. Sometimes the calendar can be friendly in a way if you play the most difficult games of the season in January or February, because then you've got a favorable run in front of you. But on the other hand, I think that Cadiz and by extension Granada and Almeria have been so poor that they have to look at themselves in the mirror, really. Between the three of them, they clinched only 61 points, which is the lowest tally ever since the win gives 3 points. They've been really poor, the three of them. And Cadiz also, I mean, Cadiz has been the best of those three, but still 26 points at this stage of the season, not even given a proper competitive fight to this very, very faulty Celta. It's a bad sign. I think that Cadiz, Granada, Almeria are missing things here and there. In the case of Cadiz, for me, the biggest issue they've got is that they have scored only 23 goals this season. They've been so poor going forward. And I don't think that they will travel Real Madrid. Of course, we have seen Almeria traveling Real Madrid at Santiago Bernabéu, but Almeria, at least they were a little bit more daring. But a team like Cadiz, who are so toothless against Real Madrid, I don't think so. And I know that Real Madrid are going to rotate, but they did rotate at Reale Arena last Friday, and they still beat Real Sociedad. Yeah. And when they rotate, good players can come in as well. The likes of Arda Güler, who scored the other day against Real Sociedad, the likes of Eder Militao, who is still trying to find his best form. I think that he's attempting to start in a hypothetical Champions League final. Why not 𝐻𝐵𝐵 Courtois, who was in the squad for Real Madrid against Bayern the other day? And I know that Lunin is doing a good job, but 𝐻𝐵𝐵 Courtois wants to play football, and this could be a good chance for him to play. At the end of the day, Real Madrid is going to be the champion. In fact, if Real Madrid wins and Barcelona doesn't beat Girona, Real Madrid will be the champion. So there is a chance to put pressure on Barcelona. And, we can talk about Real Madrid-Bayern and that game in another program, another show, but just let me react on Toni Kroos's pass. It's unbelievable, really. And not only the pass, but even a tenth of a second before he executed the pass, he was telling Vinicius with his right hand where to go. Vinicius' run is excellent as well. And Vinicius has become, Leo, a player who is turning up in the big moments. I remember Vinicius turning up against Liverpool in Anfield, against Bayern yesterday. In the biggest scenarios, he's turning up. He has become one of the best players in the world, and he's probably one of the top 3 or top 5 footballers in the world. Sometimes, maybe because we have seen Vinicius being young and being a player who didn't score, we still haven't wiped out from our memories that stereotype of Vinicius not being like a top footballer, but he is now. I mean, he got the electricity, he got the power, he got the speed, the dribbling ability, and he has added to all that 20 goals per season. It's an incredible addition. We're talking about a terrific footballer. So anyway, I don't know if Vinicius is going to play, but Brahim Diaz, Joselu, Arda Güler will be playing, good footballers will be there. My bet will be for this game. It's not easy to find good odds, but I'm going to go for this. Real Madrid to win and over 2.5 goals in this game, 191. And if you go to the individual market, it will be ready soon. Joselu to score could be an option. He hasn't scored a while over the last 2 months. I think that he can redeem himself here.
Yeah, and even Real Madrid, another combination, Real Madrid to win and Real Madrid to score first, it will take the odds closer to 1.8, which is as well not bad for this Real Madrid Cadiz. Then we have Alvaro Girona Barcelona, one of the games, of course, of this match day 34. Girona is smelling Champions League perfume already. They suffered at the beginning of the match with Las Palmas. Gazzaniga had to stop a penalty to keep it 0-0, but then Dobic scored his 19th goal of the season to look everyone from the top of the Pichichi table. Barca needed Robert Lewandowski hat-trick against Valencia. The fight is there for second place, Alvaro. Probably the one who wins on Saturdays is highly likely to secure that place. And I'm saying the one who wins because it seems that these teams, they do not know how to draw. I mean, the last time that Girona shared points, that was the 3rd of February with Villarreal. And for Barca, that happened at the beginning of March with Athletic Bilbao. So the reverse fixture was 4-2 for Girona. Do you see Barca taking revenge here?
They will try, but more than anything else, I see goals happening. And the fact that Frenkie de Jong is out with an injury, and the fact that Pedri doesn't always play right now because he has been so tortured by injuries that right now you cannot play him 90 minutes for more than a couple of games in a row, makes me think that the likes of Fermin, for example, could have a chance here. And if you add to Girona's intensity and temperament and their box-to-box football, a footballer like Fermin playing for Barcelona, who is also like that. And if you put on the pitch footballers like Lamine Yamal, who like to run in the space, and perhaps a footballer like Robert Lewandowski and Ferran Torres, I think the game can be quite fast and quite funny to watch. And it's going to be very entertaining. And we saw in the reverse fixture that Girona scored 4 at the Montjuic. So I'm going to go for over 3 goals here. I think that both teams have a scoring ability. Girona is scoring many goals at home. And Girona beat Barcelona in the reverse fixture, scoring 4, and they have been scoring a lot of goals this season. If Girona wins, by the way, they are mathematically qualified for the Champions League, so the target is there. If you qualify for the Champions League, doing it against a regional rival like Barcelona, well, it's a new rivalry in a way, but it's a very nice one to witness. If you do that, it's a massive success. So maybe on Saturday we are going to witness something special. Girona qualifying for the Champions League by beating Barcelona and by going second on the table. That could be a very, very big statement in La Liga. Anyway, I'm not going to the full-time result market. Not for me, personally, right now, because Barcelona, is a bit unpredictable. The other day against Valencia, it looked like they were going to lose, and they won 4-2. Of course, they were benefited by the sending off of Mamardashvili, the Georgian goalkeeper of Valencia. But, Barcelona is scoring goals. Girona too, especially at home. So I'm going to go for over 3 goals, which pays 170.
Yeah, everyone is screaming goals on the comment section. Andrei George, you're right. You're saying why I'm not reading the messages. Now I'm doing it anyway. Daniel, our producer, is as well pointing there on the screen. Many of the messages, guys, you are leaving. Everyone saying both teams to score plus 3.5 goals. We do have as well a feeling for Barcelona. People saying over 4.5 goals. So basically, yes, many goals. That's what everyone is feeling with this Girona Barcelona. And actually, both teams, Alvaro, to score, or a double chance for Girona combined with both teams to score, that takes it to 2.33. Not too bad. And something that usually happens with Barca scoring second half, Girona is used to that as well. Both teams to score in the second half. That could bring us to 2.39, or you will take it as a bit risky, both teams to score second half.
Look, I don't think it's too risky, but again, there are different approaches, and mine one is normally a little bit cautious. So that's why I prefer to go for
Alright.
I wouldn't call it marginal win, but a hybrid between a decent win and a safe bet. And over 3 goals, 170 for me is good. But yes, I mean, we have seen Girona and Barcelona scoring many goals sometimes this season. Barcelona scored 4 the other day. They did score 3 against Paris. You know, they've got goals in them. Robert Lewandowski is scoring again. He scored a hat-trick last Monday against Valencia. And, footballers like Fermin, as I said before, they are adding an extra element of chaos, let's put it this way, that you don't get with Pedri or Frenkie. Those two give you more ball control. Fermin prefers to step in the opponent's box, to take the shots from the distance. So, these footballers obviously will have a say. And I think that the teams right now, Barcelona and Girona, attack better than defend. So, yeah, the goals feast is something that I expect. And let me tell you something about 𝐷𝗫𝗏 Dovbyk, because here Andrillos is telling us that he supports Girona because there are Ukrainian players in there. Well, Dovbyk, to be La Liga's top scorer, pays 147. Okay, so I think that the bookmakers believe that he's going to be. But in my opinion here, there is still a big chance to back Sorloth or Robert Lewandowski having a crazy run at the end of the season and scoring many goals. At Sorloth being the top scorer of La Liga pays 8, and Lewandowski being the top scorer of La Liga pays 8 as well. I'm not saying that this will happen, but on the other hand, consider it or have a look at it, and maybe in 2 weeks revisit this. Because if Lewandowski or Sorloth score in the next 2 weeks, maybe they can put a real challenge to 𝐷𝗫𝗏 Dovbyk at the top of the top scoring charts.
That could be something to look at, that's for sure. The first game, ever of the ones being played on Sunday, we got, now moving on, is Mallorca Atletico Madrid. Mallorca haven't won since Matchday 29. 5 of their 6 wins all season have come at home, but nothing, at least to me, tells me that they could do it against Atletico, who, those boxers that suffered a heavy hand that knocked them to the ground, are now trying slowly to be back on track and fight. The 3-1 against Athletic was their 15th home win of the season. For me, they were good, but I could see some intensity and some football that they missed against Alaves, being back against Atletico. From Sunday until the end of the season, they will face Atletico Madrid, Mallorca, Celta, Getafe, Osasuna, and Real Sociedad. I mean, they could definitely finish the season winning them all. I personally like the odds for Atletico to win in the island. Even that combined with Atletico to score first could take the odds even to 3.5 or above. How do you see this one, Mallorca Atletico Madrid?
We may have a little discrepancy here.
Where?
I think that maybe it's not so easy for Atletico to win this time. Mallorca, at the end of the day, they can be tricky as well. Look at their numbers. For example, in their last 5 home games in La Liga, they got 3 wins and 2 losses only. It's true that Atletico de Madrid is a different side since they don't have to play football in midweek. We have seen that. They could rest before playing against Athletic de Bilbao, and I think that they had a little bit of energy back. And Atletico has one of the oldest squads in La Liga, and obviously this summer and the next summer, probably the sporting director will have to plan a little bit what to do with it, how to do it, who you can offer a contract extension to, which key positions you have to renovate, but yeah, that's another conversation. Atletico was very tired in March, and now they seem to be slightly more energetic. They deserve to beat Athletic de Bilbao. Rodrigo de Paul was playing really well in that game, by the way, a compatriot of yours. For this game against Mallorca, there is no Antoine Griezmann, by the way. He is suspended, and Antoine Griezmann is the one offering that extra vision to Atletico. Obviously, Atletico will love to have him there, but he won't be there. And Atletico away from home this season has been poor. That's the thing that points me in the direction of Mallorca somehow, because Atletico got only 18 points away this season, 1-8. They've been the best side at home in La Liga, numerically speaking. That's a fact. But away from home, they've been very poor.
Yeah, very
And I think that they have done the homework against by beating Athletic Bilbao. They are going to qualify for the Champions League for the 12th time in a row. They have missed out on Champions League, or they haven't missed out on Champions League since 2012. But Mallorca at home, as I said before, they've been good. In the last 5 games, they got 9 points out of 15. I know that after losing the Spanish Cup final, they have shown some maybe frailties as well. They lost 2 games after losing the Spanish Cup, but at home they tend to get the points. And I'm gonna back them with a draw no bet, which is 270. But if that's too much, a double chance for Mallorca is still good. In fact, a double chance for Mallorca is my favorite thing here. 173. I know that, of course, Mallorca is Mallorca. At the end of the day, we're talking about a side like this. But Atletico has done the job. I think that they are going to qualify 4th anyway, and away from home, they've been very poor.
That's actually a tendency for many teams at the end of the season. They feel like everything is much almost decided, and that could play a part in the games we're going to be seeing. Henry saying also pointing to a draw. Low he individual market. Morata at least 1 shot on target. 1.7 for him looks good. From Mallorca Atletico Madrid, Alvaro, we move to Osasuna Real Betis. Osasuna arriving with 5 defeats in the last 6 La Liga fixture, and probably the most damaging of all was the one on Matchday 33, a 3-0 defeat away to Granada. It might sound a little bit stupid, but I compare Osasuna's situation to the bakery next to my house, and I will tell you why. It's like you go to the bakery next to my house by 11 a.m. in the morning, they have no pastries, no bread. So you ask the guys, so just go home. There's nothing for them to do, not to the workers. And they tell you no, because the owners want us to stay until 4 o'clock, even though there's nothing to do, nothing to sell. So Osasuna is almost the same. You ask them, they want to go home on holidays already, but La Liga is telling them no, he needs to stay until Matchday 30. He cannot go home early, because everything for them is pretty much decided. They cannot look down, they cannot look up. So what we are doing here is like the feeling with them. For Betis is different. Yes, of course, we mentioned before, the chance for Conference League qualification is still alive. They drew with Sevilla in the derby. They couldn't keep building on that run of 2 consecutive wins, Alvaro. But before that, they lost 4 in a row. So this season for them is the consistency of being inconsistent for Manuel Pellegrini's team. Anyway, the odds for Betis to win here are good, although my finger is clicking to the draw. I don't know what's your take.
Well, a draw no bet for Osasuna is one of my picks, 230, but my conservative side tells me that an ace and handicap plus 0.25 for Osasuna will be a better bet. That means that if Osasuna draws, you get half a win, and if they win, you win the game. And I'm going to go for that one. Ace and handicap plus 0.25 for Osasuna, 187. And I love your explanation of what Osasuna's season is like right now. It's over for them, but it was pretty much over from the very moment that Yagoba Arrasate announced at the beginning of April, I believe, that he was going to leave at the end of the season. He's been a great manager for Osasuna. He's been the catalyzer of the team, the man who settled them down in Primera División again, and the man who took them to a cup final last season. But the season started badly for Osasuna from the very moment that they couldn't qualify for the Conference League in the playoffs in August. Do you remember that Bruce got the better out of them? And then Bruce, by the way, are in the Conference League semi-final. So you can argue that maybe Osasuna was a little bit unlucky to be drawn with Bruce so early in the season. But, from that point onwards, you could feel that maybe there weren't too many stimuli for Osasuna left in the season, because, of course, it was going to be very difficult to win the Spanish Cup again or to reach the final again. For Osasuna, it's always difficult to qualify for Europe for 2 seasons straight.
Yep.
And maybe having a run in the Conference League would have been the thing that would have make the Osasuna fan base ignite. Didn't happen, and then the season has been quite blunt. But still, you could say the same thing about Betis. For me, Betis has been one of the disappointments of the season. They look good at the beginning with 𝐿𝐭𝐿 playing fantastically. 𝐿𝐭𝐿, by the way, has been really good. The player this season with more MVP awards, by the way, but he is not available for this game. So Betis without Isco is a totally different proposition. So I'm gonna back Osasuna, and I will say that the Asian handicap plus 0.25 for Osasuna, 187 is a good one.
Yeah, and actually Isco scoring the goal in the 1-1 in the derby against Sevilla. So that was for Osasuna and Betis. We now can move on to Celta de Vigo, Villarreal, Alvaro, and I'm going to be straight to the point. Can you think of a reason why Celta is the favorite here? Because they
No.
cannot relax yet with the relegation battle, sitting 5 points above Cadiz. Matchday 33 was one to forget, 3-0 defeat away to Alaves. And actually, to be precise, the second half of Matchday 33 was something to forget because all 3 goals came in that half. For Villarreal was exactly the opposite. 3-0 home win against Rayo, which made it 4 wins in the last 6 match days for them. 6 points behind Real Sociedad, but with Valencia and Betis in front of them. So it seems quite a bit difficult for them to think about Europe. So for me, the eye-catching here are the odds for Villarreal to win.
The thing with Villarreal is that I think they are favorite for this game. You know, the trajectory of Villarreal is very good. Believe me. One thing that Marcelino needed to do when he took charge of Villarreal back in autumn was to tackle the defensive frailties of Villarreal. Villarreal was conceding a lot of goals. In fact, probably their most iconic win this season, Leo, you will remember, it was a 3-5 at Barcelona. In that game, Villarreal still conceded 3 despite winning. And that was the story of Villarreal this season. And then they conceded 4, I believe, when they played in France against Marseille, because they lost the plot and they conceded. But Marcelino has corrected that trajectory. And from February onwards, Villarreal has been really good. And for me, they are one of the best sides of the second half of the season, to the point that if we take the trajectory of the last 10 games alone, Villarreal will be in Champions League places, all together with Sevilla. This is how good they have been. The last 10 games of Villarreal, 6 wins, 3 draws, and 1 defeat. The numbers are there.
Yeah.
And I mentioned before Sorloth. I mean, he has scored 17 goals. Him to be the top scorer of La Liga pays 880. You know, wait a couple of weeks and maybe you can support him. Why not? There are a few players who are stepping up, one of them being Sorloth, the other one being Baena. This week, Roch, the president of Villarreal, had to speak to the press saying that they got no phone calls for Sorloth and Baena because there are so many rumors about these footballers leaving. Baena plays for the Spanish national side.
Yeah.
We know Sorloth because he played in the Bundesliga and in the Premier League as well. But Villarreal have been scoring. They don't concede as many right now, and they are one of the good sides of La Liga. And they are playing against Celta. And yes, I agree with you. For some strange reason that I cannot explain to myself, Celta at home has been many times the favorite this season. The odds, the bookmakers consider them favorites. I don't understand why very well. They are not as terrible as the 3 Andalusian sides at the bottom of the table, that's for sure. But still, Celta is better. Celta is not better than Villarreal. So I'm going to go for over 2.5 goals in this game, 170. I believe that Villarreal are going to score 1 more than Celta, but anyway, that's to be seen. Otherwise, both teams to score 157. A draw with Villarreal, for Villarreal wouldn't be that bad, by the way. I think that Villarreal is a slightly favorite for this game, yes, because they are in a very good trajectory. But I think that the goals market is so good that I'm happy to take that and wait to see what happens. Over 2.5 goals, 170.
Yeah, and the comment section is actually Henry is going as well for both teams to score, but combining it with the over 2.5 goals, that is 1.93. Andricios as well, both teams to score. So the feeling is absolutely there for this for that encounter. Which now we can move on to Valencia Deportivo Alaves. Alvaro, in Valencia, I believe they must still be regretting the 49th minute of the match with Barcelona, that they were winning 2-1, and Giorgio Mamardashvili, now I say it correctly, so red card, that red card was the prologue of Lewandowski scoring his hat-trick in the second half, was the second consecutive defeat for Valencia. They lost some ground on the battle of trying to reach Conference League positions. For Alaves, the opposite, 2 consecutive wins in general and 3 consecutive wins, home wins in particular. But talking about trajectories, Alaves away has been very poor all season. Only 2 wins in 16 fixtures I can see here. They don't score, of course, too much on the road, only 11 times, but neither Valencia scores too much at home. 19 goals so far this season in Mestalla. This brings me to a low scoring affair between Valencia and Deportivo Alaves. Do you see it similarly?
Yes, I do. I think that this could be a low-scoring affair just because Alaves defensively can be competent when they are definitely up for it. I would like to praise Luis García Plaza, the manager of Alaves, because he has, get the team to this position. They are 12th, 38 points with 5 games remaining. Alaves is going to stay safe, and at the end of the day, it's rather humble side of La Liga, not a lot of money, and their home form has been the key for Alaves to stay one more year in the top flight. They are playing against Valencia, and Valencia, true, they are not going to have their number one choice goalkeeper, Mamardashvili. Instead, 𝐜𝐭𝐚𝐲 Domenech is going to be playing. He's a decent goalkeeper, by the way. Decent goalkeeper. One thing that I did like about Valencia after losing at Montjuic is the fact that there was no drama. Rubén Baraja didn't brag or didn't complain too much about the referee, and that decision of sending off Mamardashvili was pretty clear, and he preferred to stick to the positives. And one of the positives of Valencia is that the other day against Barcelona, they fielded their youngest ever lineup in La Liga. Some of the players there in Valencia are really young and really good and quite promising as well. The only problem is that their owner, Peter Lim, is not the kind of guy who will be at home just rubbing his hands and saying, what can I do to get the most possible value for these footballers? Or what can I do to give Rubén Baraja a couple of good signings so this project can lift up? The project is so stagnant, at least when it comes to the board, that maybe Valencia sells 3 or 4 key important young players for peanuts, because this is what Peter Lim has been doing lately. For example, selling to PSG Carlos Soler for a fee that was not acceptable in my opinion. But other than that, Valencia for me is the favorite for this game. At home, they've been vibrant. They don't score many goals, that's true. In fact, they are 8th, but with a negative goal difference of -1. But still, I think that at home they have tried. Sometimes I have the feeling that when these players are a little bit older, they are going to be as well a little bit more clinical, but I support them because Alaves has done the job already in La Liga, and Valencia playing in front of their crowd and playing still to finish 7th in La Liga is enough stimuli for them to go for it. So Valencia to win 2-11, yes. Asian handicap -0.25 for Valencia, 177. If they draw, you only suffer half a lose.
Perfect. So that is Valencia Alaves. The one before the last is Rayo Vallecano Almeria. Alvaro, we mentioned at the beginning, Almeria officially already relegated to the second division after the 3-1 defeat with Getafe. For Rayo, things didn't go much well. 3-0 defeat against Villarreal. But at home, they drew 3 and won 2 of the last 5. This said, at home as well, Rayo Alvaro haven't scored more than 2 goals in a home game all season. But is this the opportunity to go higher than 2 for them or not?
This is number one. I don't understand why this game is played on Sunday at 8 p.m. I mean, this is supposed to be prime time in La Liga. I don't know what you think about this, but Javier Tebas and his team could have chosen another game, I guess. But here, Rayo has been rather poor at home. If it was for their home form, they would be in relegation. On the other hand, Almeria has been already relegated. In my opinion, Almeria is not as bad as their numbers say. And even Morales, the Villarreal striker, was referring to that the other day when talking to Marc Foubil, one of the players of Almeria, telling him, I think that you are not that bad, actually, to be that down on the table. But yeah, they hit rock bottom and they were never able to leave the 20th spot in La Liga. And, Almeria being already down makes these games so unpredictable to me. This is almost a pass, Leo. You know that sometimes it's better just not to go for odds or anything like that. What kind of Almeria are we going to witness this time? Are we going to witness a side that doesn't care? Are we going to witness a side that will play free flow football because they've got nothing to play for and therefore they will try at least to entertain themselves. Difficult to say. If that second alternative possibility that I flagged happens, maybe Almeria to score over 0.5 goals in the game, 160 is a good one. Almeria scoring at least once.
Well, at least they have no pressure at all, of course, since they're relegated. So maybe that one could be a good one as well. And the last one, Alvaro, before to finish the analysis of this match day 34 is Sevilla against Granada. The draw for Sevilla in the derby was, I believe, they might left with the feeling of the job was done because they then did Betis European aspirations and they stayed 13, open a 12-point gap to the relegation zone with 5 rounds to go, with 15 points to play. Granada, they won against Osasuna. The chances of keeping or staying in La Liga are very, very, very slim. They're like 10 points from safety with 15 to play. Is both teams to score anyway in here, taking into account that Sevilla is doing a good job lately and Granada needs to go for the win?
I'm gonna go for Sevilla to win. I'm gonna go here for the full-time result. In fact, I like it and I'm gonna keep it for my ACCA as well. As I said before, Sevilla and Villarreal, if we took into account only the last 10 games, they will be in Champions League positions. And I know that Sevilla, sometimes they can be a little bit slow playing football. They have had many injuries this season. One of the last ones is 𝐜𝐵 Romeo, a footballer who was making a terrific striking partnership with En-Nesyri. But still, I think that Sevilla has the quality and the players and the belief to win this game. I know that Granada is clearly more needed, but on the other hand, the Granada is a side who has clinched only 21 points this season. And, they won 2 games in April, that's for sure. They beat Osasuna 3-0, they beat Alaves 2-0. But still, I think that Sevilla playing at home should be better than Granada and they should impose their level. Sevilla to win, in my opinion, is the best one here, 167. And there are a few Sevilla players who really want to please the manager as well, because maybe 𝐿𝐭𝐴 will stay after this season. So, Sevilla has a kind of a free pass from now on until the end of the season. They are not as bad as the table says. I think that they will attempt to finish the season in the top half and maybe leave behind Osasuna, Alaves, Getafe. I think that they can make it, but for them to do it, they have to win at home. So Sevilla to win, 167.
Yeah, Andricios, Sevilla to score in both half, 2.54, pointing as well. For him, has a good value. And yes, Granada, despite those 2 wins in April, the feeling of too little, too late. That is everything, guys, you need to know about match day 34 in La Liga. Amazing insight and analysis, as always, from Alvaro Romeo. Before we move into the safe bet and ACCA, for all of you watching, please do not forget to join our monthly tipster competition. 2 very important aspects. It is free to join in our website and you could win €1,000 on a prize pool. For all of you who have already joined the competition, let me tell you that we have tweaked the rules listening to your feedback. So this change is coming into effect from today, from the 1st of May. It will take less than a minute to read them. So please do so and join, if you haven't done yet, our monthly tipster competition. Alvaro, I will start with your safe bet.
Yeah, it's Real Madrid to win and over 1.5 goals in that game. Altogether, 150.
And what's your ACCA?
Real Madrid to win and over 1.5 goals. Girona, Barcelona over 2.5 goals. Sevilla to win. So you will have to wait until Monday. A total of 375.
Amazing. Alvaro, a pleasure as always. Amazing again on everything on this match day 34. Hope to see you next time. Anyway, for sure, Edu is back very, very soon with you as well, guys. Before you leave, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell. Alvaro, thanks a lot.
All the best, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.